do if they have to give up the football.
Yeah, I don't think that Mustangs are going to give it up any other way than if they're stopped on downs. And once again, if you'd like to be involved in Portage Cable Access programming, give us a call. The number on your screen, 329-7260. As the cheerleaders showing some good arms down there on the field as they're throwing the little plastic footballs up at us and almost getting them in the press box.
Well, I tell you, Kelly Whitman's got quite an arm on her. She just, well, there goes Aaron Smits, just threw one all the way up, almost over the press box, too.
Sign her up. I tell you, I felt like I was at Tiger Stadium and was moving out of the way of a foul ball. Now they've got frisbees they're going to throw up here. Now back to live action on the field. 1:55 to play. Mustang ball on the Tiger 40-yard line. 3rd and 12 as the pitch goes to Marty Williams. He's looking to throw, but he's going to be racked up and he'll lose it 5 yards. Kind of wondered about that call.
Well, yeah, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. They send one receiver down there for Marty to throw to. It might have been a situation where Coach Knight says, Marty, if the guy's open, throw it. Otherwise, you just run as far as you can and as fast as you can. Looks like a situation now where they might want to punt the ball just to make sure that they move Benton Harbor as deep in their own territory as they could possibly can.
I'll say one thing for Marty, he stayed in bounds.
Boy, he sure did, and that helps a lot because that clock's ticking off now, and we're talking about 1 minute and 10 seconds or less before the punt gets off.
Now, if I'm Portage Central, I maybe take a delay of game penalty here and let that clock run, and that's exactly what they do.
Great call, Joe.
See,
you could be a coach.
Not bad at this, huh?
You could be a coach out there. Yeah, the punt doesn't make a whole lot of difference to the 5 yards. In fact, it may give Bruce Eaton a little bit more yardage to try to find a corner down there and keep it away from the returners.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better angle. Again, critical that the snap be good. And it is perfect. And Eaton kicks it right down the middle of the field. And Marshall's going to back up and let it bounce, but it takes a Tiger bounce this time. And the Mustangs cover it. And it's been picked up. And that's a pretty foolish mistake if they're going to let that one stand.
Boy, that's a big mistake, Joe. Just because you touch the ball, that is the kicking team, it doesn't mean that it's down at that point. And they touched it, but they didn't have control of the ball. One of the Tigers picked it up, and his momentum and everything else was heading him in the wrong direction.
Well, I get away from that football. At any rate, it'll be Benton Harbor's football, 1st and 10, close to their own 15 with 52 seconds to play.
Well, you back up now, Joe. You get those guys again. You get Matt Kopp play a little center field. Get way back there. Kalinsky, Terry Martin, Steve Pewitt. Well, now they're bringing it back. They're going to do something with the ball.
Yeah, I think they're going to mark it where the initial contact was made. That'll move it up to the 25. 25, rather. 1st and 10 from the 25. They give them another 10 yards.
Well, the defensive idea is still going to be the same. You back up. In fact, they've done that. They've brought the linebacker out to kind of chuck the wide out and kept him right there. Oh, he missed the block.
And the pass is complete to Roosevelt Bates, and he's not chased down until he crosses the 50. Chris Norman made the stop on a little swing pass out of the backfield.
Well, they had everything set up just right, and they just had the missed tackle on that situation.
And all they got was the towel, and it's still on the ground down around the line of scrimmage. Clock will stop while they move the chains. 32 seconds. That play took 20 seconds to happen, but picked up a good 15, 20 yards. So the Tigers not giving up without a fight. And they'll call timeout. They've still got one left.
Being the explosive team that the Tigers are with all their speed, this game isn't over.
Not by any stretch of the imagination.
You've got to play that center field and play back as the defensive backs, but those up people too, those linebackers and the down linemen, they have to put pressure on that quarterback. They've got to stay up in there and do their job too.
And I think when they do come up, they've got to grab on and hang on and wait for some help. Don't be so concerned with delivering the real crunching blow, because Roosevelt Bates will just bounce off you. 5'9", 190-pound sophomore, and picked up 54 yards last week on only 8 carries.
Boy, that's right. He's a horse out there, and you don't just don't pop him and knock him down. You have to grab a hold of that young man and make sure that, like you said, that you get some help. If you can't take him down by yourself, you hang on till help comes.
First downs, Portage Central dominating, much like they have on the scoreboard. 15 for the Mustangs, 8 for the Tigers. But all that won't mean much if Benton Harbor marches down and scores the winning touchdown.
Well, that's right. We can talking about numbers all night long, but it's how many times you cross that yellow line and getting that goal that ends up being the winner or the loser.
And there's the most important number right there on your screen, 13-8, and that's the score right now with 32 seconds to play in the ball game, and Benton Harbor 49 yards away from victory. They've got a double wideout formation at the top of your picture, and Hardin will roll that way and look for help. And we've got the old hook and ladder, and it works. That ball was completed to the tight end, and he quickly lateraled back. And as they unpile down there, we'll try and see who was the ball carrier.
I believe it was 44 that ended up with the ball. He's hustled all the way back into the huddle already. That'd be Roosevelt Bates on the end of that flea flicker.
And they picked up the first down and stopped the clock. Now they've got it rolling again, 20 seconds to play, and Hardin will throw it out of bounds, and we've got a penalty flag.
Benton Harbor may not have been set. They were hustling. They were doing the job. They may have run out of timeouts, or they may have just decided, well, let's get the ball out of bounds and get the stop. I'm not sure exactly why, unless Roosevelt Barnes did not get out of bounds, and the only reason that they were stopping the clock was to move the chains. That must have been the situation.
I think that was it. But a good move. They don't have to use that last timeout. 16 seconds left, and this one's going to go right down to the wire. The Mustangs trying to hang on. They lead 13-8. But Benton Harbor's pulling out all their trick plays, and who knows what's going to happen.
Boy, you don't know. We've mentioned over and over again that Benton Harbor's very explosive. They can score from anywhere on the field. So that the Mustangs, Coach Knight and his crew is thinking about that all the time. They want to stay back. They got to stay back, but they don't want somebody to throw underneath and then have a good running back to catch the ball underneath, be able to outrun somebody or put a juke on them and get into the end zone.
This is when it's scary to be playing defense.
That's it, Joe, exactly.
5-yard penalty. Not really too much of an impact right now with 16 seconds left. You know they're going to throw the ball on the Mustang 42. And they're going to get him. Doug Roberts and crew are going to sack, I think that's Hardin. And he's still down. They really tattooed him.
Play of the ball game. Play of the ball game. They're 4 seconds left to go now that play's over, but Doug Roberts, Darren Canerva was in there. There were 2 or 3 other Mustangs that were helping with the pressure, and they really put the sting on him.
And it was Whitehead, not Hardin, as Hardin jogs back towards the huddle. And Whitehead still down. I think they knocked the wind out of him.
That looks like the type of situation where it would be when you've got some couple of big guys in there, and they put the big hit on you, and then, of course, they all come down on top of you. That it's a win situation.
Channel 31. And now finally Whitehead is up, and looks like he's okay. It'll be a long ride back to Benton Harbor, and he'll be one sore young man when he wakes up tomorrow morning.
Boy, he's pretty woozy still, you can tell. Bill Frakes mentioned that maybe he had his bell rung, and that could very well have been, and that's why they wanted to make sure that he was okay. He can count fingers or do different things like that, tell him who his mama is.
Yeah, they were checking his eyes, I think, too. We've got one more play. Clock is stopped. Hardin, the quarterback. And now it's moving. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. They might not get it off, and they don't. So the ball game ends. Benton Harbor, I don't think, was aware that the clock would move, and they let it run right out on him. So the Mustangs win it by a score of 13-8. They improved their overall mark to 4-2, and they are now 3-2 in the Big 8 Conference. Benton Harbor falls to 1-5 overall.